welcome back to a new vlog. So it's October already, and okay, so no, I'm not going to start with a weather report. I know it's really tempting for me to start with a weather report, but I give way too many weather reports. Let's just say because of the attire that I have on, it's just cozy, and leave it at that. So this vlog is going to be a lovely little mix of things. One thing I'm going to do, and I've been kind of trickling into it, is I am going to set down my autumn bucket list. And I've been getting inspiration from different magazines. So I'm going to sit down later on with you in the living room. We're going to talk about that. The other thing I want to do is I really have to make the most of the herbs that I've still got in the garden. So that's on the vlog. The other thing to do with the gardening is I'm just going to start putting my frost covers over my veggie pods because I've got a lot of plants in there that I don't want to lose over these colder months. I will be making a hearty minestrone with you, and then we're going to go and have a look at my sewing plans, my sewing patterns, and I mean clothes sewing for autumn as well. And I'm going to finish the vlog with a really yummy pumpkin spice granola. I make granola all the time, but this time I'm going to make a little bit pumpkin-y spicy with it. Does that make sense? I'm going to make a pumpkin spice granola. So there's lots of wholesome things to come. Let's get going. Okay, before I dive into the bucket list, I want to make myself a nice herbal tea. I've been having lots and lots of herbal teas, and it's all come from the garden. And if you remember a few vlogs ago, if I can find it, I'll link it for you. I was already starting to make the most of the herbs that I've got in the garden, all the woody herbs, all the soft herbs. I was freezing, dehydrating them, doing all sorts of things. So let's go outside and get some herbs and make a herbal tea, and then we'll sit down and do the bucket list. Okay, I've got my trusty secateurs. Let's go and see what we can find. So I've got some mint, I've got some lemon balm, and I've got a very interesting mint called Eau de Cologne, which is really lovely. And if you're going to put these in the water, you only need a couple of minutes for them to infuse. But if you're going to do woody herbs like thyme or rosemary, they probably need about 10 or 15 minutes. I like my tea quite strong, so I'll leave mine in for about 8 to 10 minutes. And while it's steeping, let's get started on my bucket list. It's just a simple little ritual that I like to do every season, but it makes me feel really grounded to the season. I absolutely love it. I've been jotting down some ideas for my bucket list on my phone, and autumn for me is a fantastic time because it's full of really, really gorgeous things to do. And I do find that it's quite easy because it goes so fast these seasons, don't they? And it's so easy to kind of get FOMO. So this year, I've written down my bucket list. That's the first thing. I want to be really, really intentional, and I want to choose a few things that I haven't, first of all, I haven't done for quite a while. And secondly, that I really don't want to miss. So I've also got inspiration from the Country Living magazine. I have not looked at this magazine for a very, very long time. And there was like a 2-for-1 at the supermarket. So I picked up the Country Living magazine, and it's got some fantastic ideas in it. So when I was leafing through the magazine, I noticed that one of my things on my bucket list was to make a chutney, and a particular chutney. The chutney is a Mediterranean chutney, and it is a recipe from Mr. N's gran. We used to call her Bar, and I have her little recipe book, old recipe book, and the Mediterranean chutneys in there. And in this it said, the new good life this month, chutney. So they do a, I think they do an apple apple and something or other one, pear and apple chutney, which is kind of, you know, stock standard. I've got quite a few chutneys downstairs from last year. I've got green gage, I've got all sorts, but this Mediterranean chutney is really, really beautiful because it has chilies in it. So that is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. The other thing that I want to do is I want to bake some sausage rolls, but I want to make a new one. I want a new recipe. So if any of you out there have got a really lovely recipe, especially autumnal recipe, let me know below in the comments, because it'd be really nice to have something new. That, and also a new type of bread roll, because I don't really make enough bread rolls. I go to the market once a week and I pick up my sourdough and do all of that. But I just thought, surely in my Thermomix, I could make some bread rolls. So that's another thing. So if you've got some interesting recipes for bread rolls, let me know below in the comments too. That'd be really, really fantastic. The other thing is to try and visit some, like a national trust or an English heritage property in autumn. I know that I went to Gunby Hall last year when they did their Apple Day, and that was really interesting, and they had a lot of pumpkins on display and squashes on display. So that's something that I might go and do again, go to Gunby Hall. We also have Doddington Hall here as well. And they've always got something on that's kind of seasonal as well. Also, if there's any gardens that I see that are open, a few of my clients are quite good gardeners, and they go and they visit gardens as well, just to kind of get some inspiration, some garden inspiration, because this time of year is fabulous in the garden. There's so much color and so much available in the garden. Another thing on my list was making my sticky cinnamon rolls. That's one thing, and I did those. I'm pretty sure I did those in the Thermomix last year. So I have to go and have a look at that recipe. There's another recipe for you guys. So if you have a sticky roll recipe, a sticky cinnamon bun, not roll, cinnamon bun recipe, then that would be fantastic as well. I want to also either create an autumn wreath or an autumn garland from the garden, get something quite interesting, maybe go foraging for a few things as well. And maybe if they're any good, if the stuff is any good, then I might dry it as well. So that might be an interesting thing. And the last thing that I got inspiration, I was going through the freezer. The freezer's a little bit of an interesting thing in our house, but I was going through the freezer and I noticed that last year, and I'll link the video that I did, because I remember doing it in a vlog, where I got the apples from my apple tree in the front garden and I juiced them, and I have got apple juice in the freezer. I know I have, because I ran into it the other day. So I want to make a mulled apple hot toddy out of my own apple juice. This year I've dehydrated them. If you went back a couple of vlogs, you'll see that I dehydrated my apples, and these are the windfall apples, the ones that have fallen off before they're ready. So that is kind of my bucket list. And what I'll do is, up on the side of the screen, I'll pop the list up on the side of the screen. So if you want some inspiration, you can take a screenshot of it. But let me know in the comments which one you would do, and definitely which one you would do first. That would be really interesting. I like bucket lists. Got lots to do. Better get on, because it's going to be winter soon. So I was going to go quickly outside and do my veggie pods, but it's raining. So instead, I want to show you something that I got. And I've been looking for something like this for a very long time, so it fits the bill. Here we are. So this is Jaeger, this brand, but I got it from Marks and Spencer's. And if you're wondering why you can buy Jaeger in Marks and Spencer's, it's because Marks and Spencer's bought Jaeger many years ago when they went into administration. But the quality of Jaeger continues. I was a little bit sad actually when Jaeger went under, but there you go, Marks and Spencer's. And this here is a kind of lace top, and I call it a kind of popover top that you put on. You get a little camisole underneath it as well, because it is actually see-through. Little camisole. It feels like cotton. I'll check it when I put it on. I'll check the actual fabric and what it is, and it's perfect because lace is a trend for autumn winter 2025 going into 26. I've always got a problem with lace because I'm not very girly in the way that I dress. I'm a little bit more classic, and then I get into the kind of edginess a little bit. So for me to buy something with lots of frills and everything is just not on. My adamant years went when I was a teenager. I used to wear all that kind of stuff, and I can't remember what were they called? What was that era called? You'll have to put it in the comments below and let me know, because I can't think of what they were called, that era. But adamant, dead or alive, you know, that kind of look, 80s look. Well, that all went with me. So lace has been a real issue for me. But when I found this top, it's navy blue, by the way, I thought to myself, I am going to get this. This is absolutely perfect. So let's put it on. There we are. Perfect fit. So the fabric is polyamide and cotton, and the lining, and not the lining, the camisole underneath is a viscose as well. It's very, very lovely and light. Now this is a size 18 and it fits perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. I love it. I really do. You've got enough of this kind of sheerness going on here, which is beautiful for the lacy look. There's a collar, which is really nice. I do like this kind of open collar look, which is really good. And it's gorgeous. So I'm just now I'm thinking about what I can style it with. At the moment, I've just got my kind of Uniqlo wide leg jeans on. But I think this is really, really lovely. I think it would look really nice with my faux leather trousers, just to dress it up, because that's the other thing with this top. You can dress it up, dress it down, and if you're not into the kind, like I said, if you're not into the kind of Stevie Nicks, that's another hark back to the past look of frills and lace, then this is absolutely perfect. I will link it below. I think the price was good for Jaeger. This was £89. And for Jaeger, I think it's a great price. I don't think it's going to last long. I think this is going to sell out because this is a beauty, this top. Gorgeous. There we are. So that's my little interlude from instead of going out into doing my veggie pods. And now let's go and see what's going on with lunch, because I'm hungry. So with all of that talk about food on my bucket list, I've gotten quite hungry. And today for lunch, we're going to have minestrone soup. And it is one of my favorites. And there are so many different ways of making it. I feel that it's a classic soup, especially at this time of year. Mr. N's going to do all the prep for me and cook it, which is fantastic. So I'll film him doing it, and I'll probably do a voiceover while we're doing it. There are so many versions of it. I have a version on my website, and this is kind of, if it's not exact, it'll be an adaptation of my version. And I try and use whatever we've got. Onions, today we're doing a sofrito, onions, celery, carrot, I've got kale, I've got some spinach, all sorts of yummy things. I'm using kidney beans as well. The main type of herbs you'll see in front of you here. So we just use Italian herbs really, or any kind of mixed herbs that we've got that are dry. Sometimes I put in fresh. I've got some fresh in the fridge. We use tinned tomatoes if I haven't got my own fresh tomatoes. And yeah, that's your minestrone soup. It's really, really simple. So he wants to get on and I want some lunch. So let's go and do it. Okay, so first of all, we start with the sofrito. Sofrito is a mix that Italians use all the time in their cooking, and it's usually onion, carrot, and celery. You chop that all up quite well. You can have it chunky, you can have it fine. It just depends on whether you want it to cook down a lot or not. and you cook it gently until it's really soft. And then what happens is the sweetness of the celery and the carrot comes out into the onion. Then we add garlic goes into that as well. We put in tomatoes, tinned tomatoes, added extra tomato paste for extra depth. The stock then goes in. So we've used some stock that we've had from the freezer that Mr. N did. It was chicken stock. And you can put in bay leaves, you can put in your dried herbs, whatever you want. And after about 15 minutes, or 20 minutes or so, we put in the potato, we do the beans. I also had a handful of beans from the garden, some courgette as well. Whatever you've got at hand, really, just throw it all in and let that cook. And we let that cook for about 20 minutes to half an hour. And then we add some kind of pasta. And I try and use something small, like a small macaroni, or orzo is quite good as well. And I don't put much in, because when the soup tends to sit with the pasta in it, it tends to get a little bit thick. So the pasta will only need about 8 to 10 minutes or so. The greens go in as well. The greens I found in the freezer, and they were spinach that I had. So that's gone in, and I put them in kind of towards the end because they keep their color. But again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. And if you're keeping it dairy free, then you don't have to put in parmesan. You don't even have to put parmesan on top. You can drizzle it with a nice olive oil or pesto if you want to, and serve it with some crusty bread. Really, there is nothing more autumnal, in my opinion. So that minestrone was absolutely delicious and perfect for this time of year. It was really, really yummy, and we made a lot. So it's going to go in the freezer. And this is a space that I don't think I've shown this space before, but this is my sewing area in my kind of office. And I'm really excited because I just want to share with you my passion for sewing and for making things. I was brought up, my mum sewed, and I was taught how to sew. I actually had lessons at school as well. And one of my aunties is a tailor. Anyhow, and so she taught me the kind of fine tuning of pattern making as well. So I love sewing. This time of year is really the sewing time of year. It's the cozy time, not so much in the garden because it rains constantly. So I'm in here sewing, and I've got a few patterns that I want to sew. One is a pattern that the one that I'm going to start with is a pattern that I want for a shirt dress. Now I have got 3 patterns here, all for shirt dresses, but they're not quite right for the shirt dress. So I found another pattern, and I found the right pattern. I will put it up on the screen for you to have a look at. And then so what I'll do is I'll put it up on the screen, and then below it, I will show you what I've based it on. And it is a dress from Boden, and it is in cord, and it is a shirt dress, and that is what I'm going to make. That's my kind of main thing I'm going to make. I've also got, and I had this last year as well, I've got this lovely blouse here. It's a very simple blouse, and I wanted to make it. I got this fabric last year. It's pretty out there, but it's like a kind of leopardy print fabric, and I want to make that as well. But I'm going to crack on with the dress first. I've actually found the fabric as well. I wanted, the Boden dress is a corduroy, but it's not 100% cotton, so it's got a bit of stretch in it. So I had to go looking for that, and I found it from a company called Minerva. I've bought from them before, and they have fabulous fabrics and all sorts of sew-alongs and all that kind of stuff. So so that is there are the 2 things that I want to make. They're the starters. The other thing I'm thinking about making, but I might leave that a little bit later on, is there is a skirt that I really like from Mint Velvet, and it is a leather skirt. It's an A-line skirt. Now, I don't think I'll be able to sew leather on my machine. It's not good enough, but I think I'll be able to sew, what do they call it? Pleather? Is that the kind of fakey leather? Faux leather. I might be able to do that as well. So that might be another thing that I could do for my patterns. But I just wanted to quickly show you the patterns before I got on with the rest of my day, because I keep coming up here and I keep going online and looking for fabrics and patterns. And it'd be really interesting. I'd like to know, do you think I should start the shirt first, or do you think I should do the dress? So if you've got a particular idea of what you think I should start first, then just pop a comment below and let me know. And I might change my mind. So yeah, that's it. And I might, as we go on with some of the vlogs, I might show you some of the stuff that I've made as well. I love fabric. It's a real thing for me. That's why I mentioned when I talked about the lace top, I told you what it's made. I always look at what things are made out of, because I know how they're going to fare, whether they're going to last me a season or not. Anyhow, so that is that. My sewing for 2025-26. I'm hoping I'm not going to change my mind like that thing on there. That was meant to be a jumpsuit, and then jumpsuit, yeah, all in one thing. But then I lost weight and it's not going to fit me anymore. So I'm trying to work out a way of getting it to fit me and whether I can take it in or not. Anyhow, that's my problem. Dear, it's still raining, would you believe? I've just got time today before it gets dark to make something. I was going to go into the garden, and actually on this vlog I wanted to do my veggie pod covers. I mentioned it at the beginning of the vlog, but it has been raining for 2 days here, so I've had no chance to go and do the veggie pod covers. I've been running outside checking for slugs and snails and getting rid of those and getting rid of my cutworms, but there's no let up in the weather. We've got this big storm coming through, and I think we've kind of like got the bottom end of it, if that makes any sense. So I thought, okay, instead, let's make something. And I'm actually out of granola. So I had a little brainwave and I thought, okay, let's make it quite seasonal. Then I rummaged through the pantry and I rummaged through the fridge, and I found that I had some pumpkin puree left from my pumpkin spice syrup that I made for my frappuccinos. So I am going to do a little kind of autumnal twist on my granola, and I'm going to add some pumpkin puree. I'd seen a recipe for this before, so I'm kind of going rogue here. I'm making it up. If it's any good, I'll actually link it to my website. Pumpkin puree. I'm also going to put in the sweet mixed spice that I used. I mentioned when I did my pumpkin syrup that you can get a little pumpkin spice from Amazon. I will link that below as well. So when I'm out of my mixed spice, I think I'm going to get some of that because it looks really nice. And then it's basically just my normal granola recipe, which is on my website. And it's what I've got really in the pantry. Oats, I've got coconut, I've got nuts, I've got seeds, I've got the spices, I've got a little bit of salt. That's the dry. And then I'm going to mix the wet together. But first I have to just melt a few ingredients on the hob. That's my oven beeping behind me. So let's get on and let's make it. So here are the wet ingredients. I have got coconut oil, that's that white stuff. I've got pumpkin puree. I've just put in 2 tablespoons, so I want to see what that's going to be like. I've got maple syrup for sweetness. You can also use brown sugar if you want to. And I have got some vanilla. Let me just turn that down. And I'm going to melt everything together. And this then is going to go into my dry mix. forgot to mention a little hack. I do like that word. So if you want a granola that has bits that kind of stick together in clumps, then the secret ingredient is always egg white. So I have 2 egg whites in here, and I've just used a whisk to whisk them up, just to kind of loosen them a little bit. When my wet mixture cools down a little bit, it is going into there, and I mix it all together, and then it goes into my dry ingredients. So that's the first hack. I will show you the second one when it goes in the oven. Right, so this is my second hack. So get a big pan. You don't want this really thick, this granola, and spread it nice and evenly. Excuse my fingers. Then make a little crater in the center here, so that the middle of the pan is kind of free of any granola. And that the reason is because, and I found this on a website, the reason is because the middle of the granola never really cooks as decently as the outside of the granola. So you always get this kind of raw bit in the center. So if you make it a hole like that, then it will cook more evenly. There we are. You're welcome. In the oven, I've got my oven on 160 fan, and I think I might even turn it down. So here's the granola, and it smells amazing. I've thrown in some dried cranberries on top. That's another thing. If you're going to put dried fruit in your granola, wait until it's cooked, otherwise it will burn. And I've just gotten my spatula and I've been taking bits out, and that's what I mean by it stays nice and chunky. So I'm going to pop it all in this jar here, and this is just the best stuff to have with I love it with yogurt and fruit. Look, big clusters, that's what we want. So I am going to finish the vlog here. Thank you for joining me for a very cozy day here at home. We have bucket listed. We've made a hearty minestrone. I found a fantastic lace top, which is amazing. Oh, I showed you my lovely patterns that I'm going to sew, and you're going to choose the one I'm going to sew first. We've done the granola. The only thing we didn't do was the veggie pods, but it's going to have to wait because I think the rain has set in now for the rest of the weekend. So thank you again for joining me. I'm Susie B, and this is Susie B Lifestyle. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up as well. And I love some comments, be fantastic as well. And I will see you next time. October already. See you later.